Yo, what's up guys? Another day, another Yiheng world record. I looked at the solutions for this one. That's the first time I've done that before talking a little bit. They're just 3x3 solves. It's insane. Solve 1 was 15 TPS and it was a 3.8 and it was the most average 3x3 solve I've seen. Just good quality start, nothing crazy, maybe a 5 mover, pretty long last layer, 3.8. That solve in of itself has made me realize that sub 4 global, it is possible. Like, it definitely is possible. Maybe not sub 4, but like 4-1, because you need to have really high quality execution and good consistency along with that. Just that solve itself was crazy. Round 1, Yiheng got 4-2, Shoutout got 4-2, but a worse 4-2, and then Yufong got third with 449 WR3 average. Who only uses white, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. I didn't freaking know that until like a week ago, which is insane. Yeah, man, cubing in China is crazy. I'm glad Yiheng got another sub 4 average. Sorry, this is his third sub 4 average actually, because he got another sub 4 soon after his WR. Given the pace of this solve, some of the solutions, I think solve 3 and 4, the solutions were really good. I don't think those are solutions that are practical on every single scramble. But yeah, I think this had what, 3.6 BPA? Because it would be 3.8, 3.6, 3.3. Okay. Which we know he's capable of because he's counted that 2 before. Mid 2, by the way. I kind of just want to go over these solutions. There's not much he could have done better. Solve 5, he definitely maybe could have clutched like sub 3.9 with a different solution, but for he solved cross wrong and still got sub 5, like whatever. Yiheng's the GOAT. Nothing more I can really say on that front. He's just the best 3x3 solver. Even when Shoutout gets PR, WR2 average, Yiheng beats him. Congrats to Yiheng. Again, as always, he just keeps doing it. I don't know how he keeps improving. I mean, I also love to see him happy when he gets a good result because it feels good to see him happy. So, yeah, man, if you have any thoughts about this, leave them down below. I think all this has proven to me is that Yiheng obviously has potential for much better than this and soon. I wouldn't say you can just guarantee a 3.6 average from him because at a certain point, we're reaching the level where like 3x3 is scramble dependent. Like, no matter how good of a solution you find, not every scramble is 3.6able. There was a period of time where, like, you know, every set of scrambles could be WRable. We're not there anymore. Like, by far not there. So, let's take a look at these. I'll give you some thoughts about things and why he did what he did. And hopefully you understand this a bit better and can appreciate his greatness. So, appreciate it. Let's go take a look. Okay, so let's get into these solves. If you hear any birds in the background, I have cat TV on for my cat, so ignore that. But yeah, scrambles are going to be up top, and shout out Stewy for the recons. Bro is always on it so fast. Literally this happened like a few hours ago. I think the video came out on YouTube 4 hours ago, and recons have been up for a little bit already. So that's the GOAT. Shout out, as always, check out reco.nz, best website for cubing resources and recons. So scramble 1. So we're on scramble 1, and looking at this, we have like free pair on yellow, so this could be something. But we also have this block on white, and this is what Yiheng actually chooses to go for. And what's nice about this specific cross is that red and blue are already relative to each other, and so now what you need to figure out is how you're going to set up this X cross edge. Now, this may not seem super intuitive for most people because generally what you would think to do is maybe, I don't know, insert this green on the left to preserve this block before you do this orange. So that way now when you insert it, this is in the top layer, and you could even like cancel into inserting this at the back, right? And this is like generally fine. You know, you have options from here. But as well, whenever we broaden our search from just looking at quality first pairs and we're inspecting for quality second pairs, that might not have led to the best continuation. So what Yiheng opted to go for, and I think this is a really interesting X-cross concept for you to incorporate in your solves, is that he saw, well, he can set up orange relative to blue, same as before. But now, if he does a D2 from here, this red-green edge is already connected to its red-green center. So if I could feasibly do an F prime to this edge without affecting the rest of the cross and preserving this block, then we have an X cross. So what he does is he does R D2, and that puts this in here. And now he's going to insert this edge into the back, and that's going to solve this X cross edge right here. So U prime, and then he does it like, Stewy wrote it as L, like wide L U prime, wide L prime, but most people just do it as like R B R prime. But maybe he did like somewhat in the middle where it's like R wide L prime, U prime, but this was a B, and then R prime wide L prime. You can kind of meet it in the middle a little bit there. And then now from here, we can just do a D move, and that's going to solve our X cross at the back. So this is a pretty cool X cross idea. I hadn't really seen it before. And so now we're from here, and there's two options really. So there's this 5 mover or there's this 7 mover. If we do this 5 mover first, we get locked into this 12 mover, which I made a video about why this pair sucks, but people didn't really believe me. But anywho, this pair is not good. So instead of doing 5 mover into 12 mover, or 5 mover into like 3 gen 8 mover, that's going to be 13 moves. Yeah, we can do 7 mover and then a much cleaner 5 mover here. And here he actually does U2 U prime, but yeah, in this case, you can just build this as a pair at the back with 7 moves. So here he does U2 U prime, pair this up, and then what's nice about this is you can do this U move as you're rotating, and now you just insert. And this is what I was saying of like he gets like not great OLO PLO. So here you do like soon F6 F prime U2 RA prime. RA prime is not bad, but still like soon F6 F prime is not ideal. And yeah, this was 15.1 STPS, 15.4 ETPS. So bro's the Turner. Like I said, this is a quality enough solution that like makes sense. But I mean, as for yellow, there's, like I said, there's free pair here. I'm assuming Yiheng didn't really like many of the continuations off of yellow. I mean, there's free pair here. There's 1 move free pair with red green. This is just really clean. Execution amazing. He did this LL in 1.7. That's crazy. Okay, but yeah, really clean solve. Good X cross concept. Good second pair choice. Doing the 7 mover into quality like RU gen last 2 pairs. I mean, yeah, that's amazing. So on to the second solve. So yeah, on this scramble, we don't look like we have too much, right? So we have this on yellow, we have some stuff on white. I don't know, maybe there's like I would do 5 mover into back right here with red green. So something like R U prime F, R prime D2, F2 D2, and then now you have like 5 mover. That's like the best thing I can see just on the spot. Yiheng's actually going to do yellow cross here, and it makes sense. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start from this position here, and this is solely for ergonomics. Now, what I want you to see is that we're actually going to build an X cross with this red-green pair here. So to do this in an optimal way, we would want to do a cross solution that detaches this edge from this corner, and we want to make sure that whenever we're inserting this edge, we're not doing it with 3 moves. We're kind of canceling by using this orange edge of some sort, and then we can cancel into inserting this corner without needing to do 3 moves as well. And Yiheng does both of those things. So we're actually going to start from yellow top, green front, and like I said, this is purely for ergonomics. And here we're going to do a wide R prime, and that's going to put this blue edge here. So now we can set it up relative to red and orange. Then we're going to do an F prime that solves blue relative to red and orange. And then here we're going to do R solves red, wide R prime. And we don't just do like L2 here to solve orange, because we want to, like I said, attach this edge with the orange edge, and we do that with a U. And now this does 2 things. It actually builds this block and sets up this here. So now we have a move order option. Do we want to do F L prime here or L prime F? Since Yiheng has really good inspection depth, he does L prime F, which is the right decision here, because it makes this free pair for orange green. And then you could, most people just do like something like that, which you don't want to do here because we have a multi-slot with red green. So here, if you know this solution for red green, you would do like, if you were looking at it from here, you do RU to R prime, right? So if you do the RU to R prime just from this angle, with this pair, it's going to set this up as a 3 mover. So L, U to L prime, U, RU, R prime, and again, this rotation is nice because you can do that U move while rotating. And then spam last pair, M soon, and then you have RA prime. Yeah, I think this is a really creative X cross, and it exemplifies like 2 really good concepts. Like I said, you want to make sure you're inserting your X cross edge during a cross edge being solved, and then as well, you want to make sure that you're inserting corners while the edge is in like an open state, so 1 move away from being solved. And he does both those things, and all of those were actually done with 1 move. So yeah, really clean solution start from here. And then yeah, multi-slot second and third pair into good RU gen last pair. M soon, good PLL exec. This is 1.9 LL, which is crazy that was a little bit slower than previous. Yeah, I compared this F2L to the last one. His previous F2L was 2.07. This F2L was 2.3. I'm not sure why that is. Actually, F2L move count. Yeah, F2L was 5 moves more. I think the start of the F2L is a little bit tricky to execute because yeah, his F2L on the last L was 14 TPS, but his F2L on this one was 10.4. So I think this X cross, while good, is a little tricky to execute. That's interesting. That is it for that one. Hopefully you understand the ideas there. And now we're going to move on to the third solve. Solve 3. I'm going to show you what Yiheng does, but if I were you, don't do what Yiheng does because you're not Yiheng. So on this scramble, I mean, very clearly we go for white here. We have 2 free pairs, and most of the times when you have 2 free pairs for laymen's like us, you don't want to preserve both of them because it's too hard for you to track. And the look ahead that you would probably get by doing these 2 pairs isn't normally worth it. Now, Yiheng is pretty much inspecting full F2L at this point, so look ahead doesn't really matter to him. So I'll show you how he preserves these 2 pairs and then tell you why maybe that's not great for everybody. So we have our orange edge solved to its center, our green edge solved to its center, just 1 move away, blue here, red here. So he starts from blue top, white front, and this makes a lot of sense. So we have red, green here, orange, blue here. So D just solves our 2 edges, and now we kind of deal with our cross from here. And what he's going to do is he does R, U, R, and that just solves blue, and these 2 R moves are going to insert our red green pair into its correct slot. And so he does R, U, R, wide R prime, and that's going to cancel into inserting this pair. So he's actually going to insert this pair before we even finish solving our last cross edge. So here he does U to L, and then here U, wide R prime, and then now he's just going to R prime F2 R, insert this edge from here. And now if you're looking ahead, but he inspected this, when you do R prime, this edge gets popped out for a quick second, so now we can do F2, and he does U prime R here, and this is really good for 2 reasons. Well, you set up 2 free pairs. I imagine he just went for this one because now if you do this, you get like meh, but if you do this, you still get meh. Honestly, I think this is maybe a little bit better because now you end with like that continuation instead, but he went for the other pair order. So from here, he does U prime, wide FR F prime, and then he actually does ZBLS here, shout out my goat. You could do better ZBLS, which is like that, but he does F, U prime, F prime, U2 solve. Whatever, Yiheng ZBLS moment. And then instead of doing this Z perm, which I don't know if this was him intentionally avoiding Z perm or if this was him just not catching COLL, but he does U2, and this can't be better. But he does U2 wide sexy sledge in A perm, which is like, bro, what? Oh my god. That LL was 1.4. That LL was better than the last one by 0.5. And he just, this was 20 STPS, bro. Oh my god. This solve was also overall 14.9 TPS. That's probably hard carried by LL, but still, dude, that's insane. Yeah, so the reason why I wouldn't recommend people approach this type of solution in this manner is because there is normally just a really principled way to deal with this. Like, if you just want to solve this red-green pair, like DRU, now you can just cancel into inserting this as a block and just track this, right? And this is not bad. If you're not to the point where you're tracking full inspection, then I don't recommend a solution like this to you. The reason why it works for Yiheng is because he saw he could do both of the pairs in an efficient way and set up a free pair for third pair. So I find that the look ahead is really hard for most people whenever they're inserting their last pair. Whenever they're inserting the last cross edge with like R prime F2R, the transition from your like cross to F2L when you're doing an ending like this compared to just tracking what's happening during first pair is really huge. So that's why I would say maybe a solution like this isn't worth it for most people. Just build a traditional block off of one of the pairs that makes sense. If you can find a way to preserve both pairs before finishing the cross, go for it. But yeah, you're not Yiheng, so don't do an idea like this. Okay. On to solve 4. Okay, so solve 4 here, yeah, this just is really straightforward. So we're gonna do white and yellow, don't do yellow. So we have white, maybe there's stuff on yellow, whatever. There's always stuff everywhere, but whatever. White is significantly more straightforward. So here, we can set up, so we have blue edge here, red edge here, orange edge here, green edge here. And this is a really clean start. We can easily cancel into red, blue as a 3-mover into front right. And we wouldn't really do this from any other angle because the ergonomics from here are just really, really good. So the way that we're gonna do this is we're gonna set up orange relative to green. So F, and now we're gonna solve these two, D prime. And you might see this start to shape up now. So if I do F, R, now I get this 5-mover. So here I just do F and I cancel into this pair. U prime, R2, U, R prime. Now, for the observant ones among you, you see this free pair. But we have this orange-blue pair. So we rotate to solve our pair into the back, R prime, U2, R. And this is a multi-slot. When we split this up, this becomes a free pair. And now we can solve this into the back. And we have all orange edges from here. This is a 3-mover. U, 3-mover, and the look ahead into all of them here is really good, so we can just do sexy sledge and then RA perm. The last layer here was like crazy. Like this one is just really straightforward. Like I said, this is a 44 move solution. Like this is not something that you're gonna be able to get every single solve. Of course you have to be able to take advantage of it whenever you get it, so shout out my goat for that. But it is not standard by any means, so don't get it twisted. Hopefully this solve makes sense. There's not really many other options that you would really take here. He rotated well, solved the pair into the back, left himself with like front right last pair instead of, you know, back left. Doesn't make a huge difference, but especially for that transition, it becomes a lot nicer. So on to last one, and this is where things are like actually could have been better. We're looking at this from yellow top, blue front, and he does a pseudo X cross apparently. I'll show you just the moves. I'm assuming what happened here is he was trying to set up orange green as a pair, or he was trying to set up orange green as an X cross, which makes sense. But he just solved cross wrong. So here, U prime, L prime is going to solve this edge and this block, and now U D prime solves that pair, and then now he did R2 and then FD and then inserted this in the wrong position, so D prime. Now he's left with this instead. So his idea like functionally made sense, but he just mispredicted the positioning of these two edges. So then this is the most straightforward pair. Pair this up, insert this, rotate, 5-mover, U prime, and then he does sledge insert and then fixes it. U prime. And then he does CLL, ELL. What a goat, bro. Oh my god. I imagine like what he was trying to do like makes sense, but the solution that I came up with was pretty clean X-Cross into back right, and this is the reason he didn't do this is probably just because he mistraced the positioning of pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to do R prime F prime. That's going to put this blue edge relative to this orange edge, and we're going to do this F prime from here to orient this green orange edge like this. Now when we do U prime, B prime, we've solved our block and we've inserted the blue edge. So now we can do D, and then again, move order here. Do we want to do R F prime or F prime R? We want to do R F prime here, and the reason being is that we actually have a multi-slot with this red-green pair. So if we solve this into the back, we can do RU, R prime U, RU prime, R prime U, blah, blah, blah. Now we get this pair here. And from here, you would just insert sledge, insert U2, and maybe there's a world where Yiheng finds a solution and this is, you know, better than 4.25. I mean, it's really hard to follow up a 3.3 when you know you're on like 3.6 BPA and you have really made no major mistakes. And even with like the cross mess up, this is still sub 5, which is like so funny. So yeah, shout out Yiheng. This was really clean average overall. Like, I don't really have anything to say about it except for just it was really good and he does things well. Main takeaways are the benefit of planning everything is so huge. I've underestimated the power of planning, and not everyone needs it, especially because like right now I only plan first pair and I am sub 6, but yeah, to really take that next jump, you need high level inspection depth. So yeah, man, absolutely bonkers, like crazy stuff from Yiheng here, and this is not the end by any means. Appreciate y'all for watching, and I will see y'all in the next World Record Recon. See ya.